Hi, my name is Eric Ray, and welcome back to my Bases to Bleachers YouTube channel. If this is your first time on this channel, I'm glad you found yourself here. Today I'm going to read two stories in honor of Father's Day, stories that were collected for my books, Bases to Bleachers and Backyards to Ballparks. They both happen to involve the Mets, but that's really incidental to the stories. The first story I'm going to read to you is from the second book, and it's from the chapter that's called Triples, and each triple has three stories that in some way or another have to do with each other. This triple is about rooting for the visiting team. I was 13 years old when I finally scrounged enough money together to be able to pay for my first Father's Day gift for my dad. It was 1964, and Shea Stadium was the brand new home of the New York Mets. I'd become a Mets fan mostly because all my friends were Yankees fans. Reserved seats at Shea were $2.50 each, and the subway fare was 15 cents. I bought the tickets a couple of weeks in advance at the Mets ticket office at Grand Central Station. When Father's Day rolled around, Dad and I got on the first of three subway trains to get to Shea for a scheduled doubleheader with Philadelphia. We arrived in time for batting practice. Jim Bunning was scheduled to pitch for the Phillies. I don't remember who started for the Mets. I just wanted them to win, maybe hit a few home runs. The Mets were woeful in those days, so it was no surprise when the Phillies got off to a quick lead. By the middle of the game, not one Met had reached first base. As the Phillies' lead increased, the prospect of the Mets winning became less and less likely. It became apparent that Bunning was pitching a perfect game. No walks, no errors, nada, nothing, diddly squat. The bottom of the ninth rolled around, and he was 3 outs away. At 13, I'd been to my share of baseball games, so I found it very strange that a close to sellout crowd was rooting against the Mets and for Philadelphia. Dad and I were guilty of this betrayal as well. Johnny Stevenson, the Mets catcher, made the last out. Jim Bunning had pitched a perfect game for the first Father's Day gift that I'd ever bought for my dad. And yes, the Mets lost game 2 as well. That's from Ron Baum in Marin County. The second story I'm going to read is from my first book, Bases to Bleachers, and the chapter Generation to Generation, Baseball and Family. My dad was a surgeon, and that seemed to be his reason for not doing things around the house. Making repairs, little maintenance chores, these were off limits to him because he didn't want to hurt his hands. We all knew this could have just been an excuse, but he was a good dad, provided well for family, and we loved him. Dad loved baseball and had season tickets for the Mets at Shea Stadium, box seats behind home plate. His name is actually on the back of the seat, a common practice at Shea. I loved having time with him alone and would often go to a game with him. One day, when I was a young teen, a pop-up foul came right towards us. He instinctively reached up and caught the ball with his bare hands. What? I looked at him in astonishment, and he gave me a look with a smile that said, "You never know what to expect. Perhaps this is between us." Several years later, I went to a game with a friend, my first in a long time. We had tickets, as it happened, just 2 rows behind Dad's seats. Dad had since passed away. But when I arrived, I went to take a look at our old seats, and there was his name, still on the back. It was, of course, an emotional moment for me, sad and happy at the same time. If only we had cell phones then, I would have certainly taken a picture. That's from AK from San Diego. I hope you've enjoyed these stories. If you have a story you'd like to share with me for a future volume, please contact me through the website, the YouTube channel, or at eric.baseballstories@gmail.com. If you're interested in the books, let me know as well. Thanks, and for all you fathers out there and for people celebrating Father's Day, I hope it's a good one for you.